Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to sublimate this beautiful custom beach towel that I made for my son. We are going to be using a specific software that has a tiling feature that will make your tiling life easier. If this is something that you're interested in, stay tuned. Hey y'all, today I'm going to be using the Epson Edge Print Software to complete my project. I'm going to show you how easy and simple this software is to navigate. Now this software is included with the purchase of specific Epson products, and today I will be using my Epson SureColor F570 die sublimation printer, which is a 24-inch die sublimation printer by, of course, Epson. With the purchase of your printer, you will receive what's called a license key. You will need that license key authentication to have access to this software. Just think of this license key as a social security number before your printer. Now, these keys are uniquely created and generated per each Epson printer. My husband gifted me this printer back in 2020, and at that time, the Epson Edge Print software wasn't available, so I am going to be using the free version. The free trial, I should say, of the software. The free trial is available for 30 days, and I hope that I will have access to this in the future, but for now, I will take advantage of this free trial. So here's our canvas, and now the very first thing that I'm going to do is import my design onto the canvas. To do so, I'm going to head over to where it says Add, find my folder where my design is, which is my Downloads folder, select my design, and then click Open. Now, my design file is pretty large, so it may take some time for it to import onto the canvas. So just keep that in mind. If you are working with larger design files, it may take a few moments for it to import onto your canvas. So just be a little patient. Once the file is finished updating, right under job list, you will select it and then it will appear on our canvas. Now, my towel design was created by my friend Jazz. She's my graphic designer. Big shout out to Jazz, because your girl don't know how to design. I'm lacking in that designing area. Our towel measures about 28 inches by 58 inches, and as you can see here, our output dimensions are off, so we are going to go ahead and change the dimensions. I'm going to select layout, and I'm going to adjust the width size to 28 inches by 28.45 inches. Then I'm going to click enter, and as you can see, because my aspect ratio is locked, my design automatically changed the height, which is smaller than the size that we need. So I'm going to select that lock aspect ratio to unlock it, and then change the height to 58.45 inches. Now, this software has some amazing features that I'm going to briefly go over. I am still very new to this software, so some features I may not know what they are used for. So I'm going to select job info, and just the job info just provides us the file information. It has the file name, the file size, the date that it was created, the number of pages, the page size, and the embedded profile, etc., etc. Then I'm going to select history, and this is the history of this particular design file. Next, we have the basic settings, which shows us our media settings. So we have our paper source, where we can select where we want our paper to print from. We have our media size, our media name, our print quality. We have advanced settings, which allows us to select or deselect bidirectional printing, which I just keep selected. We have our input resolution, which I keep at 300 dpi, but you can change it to increase it to 600 dpi. All of these other features I have no idea about, but this auto cut is amazing. And for those of you who do not know, the Epson SureColor F570 does have an automatic cutter embedded in the printer itself, and we can select whether we want it to cut per job or per page. And then here is a feature that is used for TIFF files only. So now I'm here back in the layout section, and it just shows us, the copies. We have the reduce and enlarge features where we can change the width and the height. and we have left top position, rotate orientations, where we can rotate our design to specific orientations that we need. We have the mirror option, where we can select or deselect mirror image. With dye sublimation, remember to always mirror your image with the exception of glass and acrylics. We do not need to mirror when we are working with those substrates. Here are our color settings. You can go ahead and adjust your color profiles and things of that nature. We have our color replacement. We have a mark section, which I have no idea what this is, but I'm going to assume it allows us to mark up our design if need be. Then we have our crop feature, where we can go ahead and crop our design if necessary. We can manually select the width and the height that we want to crop our design to, or we can manually take our cursor and drag inwards or outwards to crop out our design. So that's pretty dope. Now my favorite feature is the tiling feature. I love the tiling feature on this software, mainly because I haven't mastered any of the tiling techniques using other softwares, and this software makes it so much easier. So here you can see we have our image size, our width and our height of our design. Then we have the tiling settings, where we can select how to specify our tiles, whether we want numbers of tiles or the size of our tiles, which is so amazing. You can select how large you want your tiles to be if you select the tile size. We have this print order, where we can select how we want our design to print. We have our overlapping settings, where we can select how we want our overlap to appear on our printed job, which is amazing. And if you hover over each of those, it will tell you how the overlap position will be. We have our overlap dimension, which allows us to select how large or how small we want our overlap to be. So for those of you who do not know what overlap is, it is just extra page space for us to align and piece together back our design seamlessly. We also have the option to select whether we want a print overlapping line. We could print the line on the images and the margins, or print on the margins only. Printing on the margins will allow for the line to be on the outside of the designs, whereas printing on the image and the margins the line will appear across the design and outside of the margins as well. So that's pretty dope. And it just, like I said, helps us align our piece that we need to piece back together. We get to choose our line weight, the color we want our line to be. We can select the density. So this is all amazing. I love it. Then we have the step and repeat feature, which is not available for me right now. I think it's because I am using the free trial, but it is a step and repeat feature there. So now I'm going to head back over to our tiling feature, and we're going to get ready to prepare our design for printing. So I'm going to select my tiles by the number of tiles, and I'm going to select 2 horizontally. As you can see here, I have my first rectangle with this blue box around it, and that indicates how wide my first rectangle is going to be. As you can see, it's showing that it was 14.225. Now I took my cursor and dragged it outwards because I want to maximize as much as my roll paper space as possible. I'm going to be using 24-inch roll paper, so I'm just going to change my width to 23 inches. And as you can see, my width of my first rectangle has changed. So I have my first side, and then I have a little piece of the rectangle, which is going to be the piece that we piece together right there. So just 2 horizontal pieces. For my overlap position, I'm going to select this one right here, where it's going to have my overlap on the left hand side. I'm going to change my overlap dimensions to 0.75. You really don't need too much of a large overlap, but anything under 1 inch is good for me. And as you can see, I can visually see my 0.75 inch overlap, which is so amazing. I love it. Then I'm going to select my print overlap line, I'm going to select it to print only on the margins because I like to have the lines on the outside of my designs. And my line weight is going to be 1 and everything else is going to be remaining the same. Now here is a preview of how our design is going to print. I have my first large rectangle where it's at 23 inch in width there, and then I have my other piece, which I'm going to show in a minute. I'm noticing that I forgot to select how I want my printer to cut, so I went back into basic settings and then select auto cut, and I'm going to select cut per job, which I think I should have changed that to per page, but it's fine. Now I'm going to zoom out to show you how everything is going to print. As you can see, there is a lot of space here and you can repurpose this space. So let's say if you have other jobs that you need to print, you can select add those jobs, and then you can select what's called nest to maximize as much space as possible so you won't waste any sublimation paper. And I'll try to do another video on that to show you how that's done. Then you can go ahead and select print. Okay, y'all, so this is real-time printing. It takes about 3 minutes to print something this large out. And as you can see, what I was stating in the video earlier is that we have this extra white space, but I'm going to be using that. Okay, let's get a different view so you guys can see. Get my toes off the camera. Okay, look at that. Yes. Okay, y'all, so I have the 2 pages printed. I actually had to call Epson because something is wrong with my printer. Even after I tried to run the nozzle check and like all of that good stuff, like it's still printing with these white lines. So I do have to take my printer to a Epson certified service center to get it fixed because it's out of warranty. But we still gonna do this project. Okay, so here we go. This is the overlap line right here. So I have one over here, and then I also have one right here. Okay, and this is going to be our guide to align our image together to piece it together. Now I'm taking a pair of sharp scissors and I'm trimming off the white edge of my larger piece of the design. You want to be very careful with this step. You need to have clean and precise cut lines so that when it's time to align everything back together, it aligns perfectly. So I could be the world's worst cutter, but I took my time with that. Now I'm taking some masking tape. You can use masking tape, painter's tape, heat resistance tape for this particular part, and I am taking the tape and I'm placing it behind the smaller piece of my design. So when we align the larger piece with the smaller piece, it will adhere perfectly and stay in place. Okay, so I'm gonna start on this side. So here's my overlap line right here. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the larger piece of our design and I'm going to align it up to match up. Let me bring this down some. Where that overlap line is, okay? Hopefully I can see. And I'm going to use my eyes to make sure that all of everything is lined up nicely, okay? I'm using my overlap line as a guide though. Remember I told you in the video that the overlap lines are there to help us align our piece together to give it that seamless appearance, okay? So that's what you're gonna see me do now. All right, y'all, so I relocated to my living room floor. Yes, I am reserving my needs. I got my little pillow, and for some reason, working on the floor was easier for me to align everything up nice and seamlessly, as y'all can see. Look at that. Come on, somebody. So now I asked my mom to help me flip this over because it's large, and now I'm going to secure it down even more with some masking tape. So I'm just applying a few more pieces on the back where the existing masking tape is, and just adding more for extra security so it does not move. Now I have a piece of RAM board from Home Depot or Lowe's. I cut it to size. I am using tacky spray. I sprayed the tacky spray not on the transfer but on the towel itself. I prefer to spray on the surfaces opposed to spraying on the transfers. It's just a personal preference of mine. I then took some heat resistant tape and I taped down the transfer to the towel. Then I am going to flip the towel around and spray tacky spray on the actual RAM board so that the back of my towel can adhere to the RAM board. All right, y'all, so now we are here at our heat press. We got the heat press set at 400 degrees, okay? So now I'm gonna take my towel, which is on my RAM board, okay? And we about to press this bad boy, okay? I'm gonna show you my technique that I feel works best for me, all right? So I like to press horizontally, okay? And then I'm able to slide my RAM board over and press that way, okay? So I'm going to slide this all the way over. Oop, I just dropped some stuff. And as I'm sliding it over, the end of my RAM board is like tilting towards the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my chairs to help keep it leveraged. It's going to serve as, I don't know, like a little, like something to hold its height up, this RAM board height up, all right? So I'll be right back. All right, y'all, so I'm back. So I just have my chair holding the RAM board up right there, like that, all right? So now we are going to start pressing. We're going to be pressing at 400 degrees for 50 seconds, light pressure. The key to this is light pressure, and I'm going to tell you why in a few moments, okay? Let me just align this up under my heat press. Make sure I have it in there, okay? And the reason why I use the tacky spray again is to help keep everything nice and secured and in place as I'm pressing in different sections, okay? I'm noticing that the heat tape is starting to lift, so that extra security from the tacky spray comes in handy. All right, so right now what I'm going to do is just check the pressure. And that's too firm pressure, too firm of a pressure. I'm going to loosen the pressure real quick. So right there is okay, I guess. Now, the reason why light pressure is necessary for projects which requires us to press in different sections is, for one, let's consider the definition of dye sublimation real quick. Dye sublimation is the process of transferring dye permanently onto a polymer-coated or polyester substrate using heat. The process starts as a solid, then it changes into a gas, and then it changes back into a solid. So, if we are using firm pressure, that means that the heat is radiating to the part of the paper that's outside of the press. And when that happens, the gas is released off of there, leaving absolutely no ink left to transfer when it's time to press the next section of the design. So if we are using light pressure is going to leave somewhat of ink on the edges, just enough for us to transfer it nicely onto the next part of our section that we are going to be pressing. Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you what I mean by overlapping, okay? So right here, we can see what's been pressed, okay? So let me slide this over so you guys can see in the light. 1 second, because I'm working with one hand. Okay, so right there, that line, this line of demarcation here where the press line stops, right? I can see that. So I want my heat press, the edge of my heat press, to overlap that press line, okay? So I'm gonna slide it over just a little bit, okay? Making sure that I'm going to get that extra press. This is what's going to prevent that white line from displaying. This and light pressure. All right, so let me see. So you see how I'm going to be overlapping that press line? That's what we want, okay? I'm gonna press this down and let it go. Okay, so this is what we're looking like so far. Then we're just gonna go ahead and press this side here. All right, so I'm gonna have my son rip up his towel. Rip it like it's Christmas time. Nope, gotta rip the paper. Yes, sir. Nice and easy. T. Oh my goodness.
Sounds like Christmas.
Yeah, but be gentle now.
Yo, so much paper.
I know, I got a lot of paper up there. You want me to help you? Like you need some orange strings? Like what's happening? All right, y'all, here are the final results. I absolutely love this. If this tutorial was helpful to you, please consider subscribing to my channel, like, comment, and sharing. Until next time, later.